Hey guys! Okay, I'm gonna open this up on the computer to make sure that we are actually live.
Good morning from Alaska. Good evening
Yay!
from Europe, I guess, if you are in Europe, and good afternoon for everyone in the States.
Yeah. Hi guys, I see Christian is here. Yay! Dave. Hey Dave. So I was actually late at night. We were deciding like when should we do it, and I was like we were like, well, we could do it at 1 p.m. because we have a plow guys coming today to give us some quotes on what it's going to take to be our plow guy over the winter, and they're coming at 10, so we can only do a live stream. We're capped at an hour for sure, but so we're like, well, we could do it at 1 p.m. and then all the plow guys are gone and we can be relaxed. And then but then I looked at the time and I was like, but then Christian is going to be like 11 o'clock. Christian won't be able to be there. And then I was like, oh, Luis and Trini in Madrid, they won't be able to be there. And yeah, and Alfredo de Juan. And I was like, oh, we have to push it up earlier, or else, everybody in Europe is going to be like, they're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So.
And we could have done it earlier because the sun just came up.
Yeah.
Just came out like what?
Yeah.
Maybe 30 minutes ago.
We have light.
So we can show you around the property.
Yeah.
So welcome home. This is our little cabin retreat for the winter.
Yeah, and I see Jamie's here, which means my mom and my papa here too. Hey guys.
Hi, family.
Yeah. Oh, Christian says even 2 hours later would have been okay. So you're a late night person. That's good to know.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking that for the rest of the our time here, this time or an hour later will work because it will start getting light out later. Usually the sun. I mean, yesterday before the time change, the sun was coming out at 9:35. And it's just getting darker in the mornings and darker and darker, and then sun comes down. Well, luckily we are in a part of Alaska that get a little bit more sun than, let's say, for example, Fairbanks. Their winter solstice, I think, it's only 3.5 hours of daylight, and we get like 5.5 or almost 6 hours of daylight. So it's not so bad here.
Yeah. So without further ado, welcome to the Hemlock Retreat. The owner, Colin, has been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful new friend, and is letting us take care of his beautiful cabin over the winter. It is located in Seward, not Seaward, which how we were pronouncing it before, and then we were corrected. We're like, oh, it's Seward.
Yeah, pronunciation here in Alaska is very particular,
Yeah.
You will think that it's pronounced the way that it was written, and no. They have their own pronunciation. We got to learn all of that.
Yeah, so we are going to be here until at the very earliest, the end of March. And
potentially, end of April.
Maybe a little bit
middle out of April, maybe.
Into April, if we'll see how the weather is. If we're able to move back into the bus, then we will move back into the bus. But if it's still really cold, then we might be able to work with the time frame.
Yeah.
And hey, me encanta tus videos, pero como no entiendo inglés, solo puedo. Yeah, gracias. Sí, lo siento. Es que hemos descubierto que es difícil hacer los live en español y también en inglés. Estamos pensando ahorita que tal vez haremos unos live solamente en español para no estar cambiando. So we're saying like, yeah, it's difficult with Spanish and English. We tried to do half and half, and then we found like everybody was bored half the time and everybody was bored the other half of the time, and we're like, maybe we should just do some lives completely in English and some lives completely in Spanish. We're still figuring that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're here, and we've been here about a week now, right?
We moved in on
Tuesday.
Yeah,
so less than a week.
Yeah.
We got all our stuff in mostly.
We're
getting settled in. We've been getting to work, and so maybe we can show you around.
Yeah.
And
let's start with the tour.
Yeah, and always ask questions. let's see. I'm gonna make sure that we don't miss any questions. So always ask questions if you have, and we'd like you guys to kind of direct what we talk about, what you're curious about.
Yeah.
And then we'll answer those questions as best we can.
Yeah. So let's start with the grand tour. I can follow you around with the camera, and you can show
Want
them
me
the
to give the
spaces.
tour?
Or I can show the space here, and then we change outside.
Yeah, we've put this live stream on cell signal so that we can kind of leave the house and hopefully be able to show you a little bit of outside. If it gets choppy, we're really sorry. It's just there's not really solid cell signal here.
Yeah, and the internet also here is a little slower.
So.
But so far so good. Give us some feedback if something changes.
Yeah. Okay. So where should we start?
Well, let's start right here.
You can kind of see most of everything already in the camera.
You want to grab the camera and follow me around?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try and do this with this least amount of shake as possible, guys. I'm sorry it is shaky. So, oh, and there's my finger. How did I do that? Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera around.
Let's start at the Arctic entrance.
Okay.
So that you get a feel of what does it feel like when you come in here. Coming out.
Trying to keep this not shaky.
All right, guys. So we're gonna show you what it looks like outside, but we're not gonna go completely outside. We're gonna leave that for last, but just for you to get a feel of how does it feel like when you come into the house, into the cabin. So if you step on the steps, give them a little panning, and then come inside.
Okay. By the way, it's cold. Oh God, it's so cold. Okay.
Hi everyone, you ready for a tour? Come on in. So this is the Arctic entrance. We got a little grill right here, and this is where we can come in with our shoes. They have spikes so we don't fall and slip in the ice.
Yeah, but we
It gets very icy out there.
But be clear though, we don't actually walk on this with them. We take them off outside.
Yeah, these things are, so if you walk on wood with this, it'll destroy the wood. So what we do is just take them off on the steps over there and then carry them up to here. Just let them there. And the owner, Colin, told us that we can use the grill to cook over the winter. So all we have to do is open that door and let the smoke out. It doesn't come into the house. But yeah, we got a little porch here. In the summertime, he removes these walls. So
he removes
like a little porch.
In the summertime, that wall goes away and all this goes away. And so this is just kind of an open porch. But right now it's closed in. Reconnect.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're still there. Woohoo!
We're back.
Oh, good. I was afraid we lost it completely.
All right, so sorry about that. I guess we spent too much time in the cold. The phone got cold. So here's the entrance. We got our little space here for our coats, shoes. We made our station here for our hard drives for editing, and this will make it easier for us to come and grab hard drives and go and edit depending on the video that we're working on. These right here are our backups, and we have other cables and gadgets here that we can just come and grab. Cora has her working station, I have my working station, and then right here is the bathroom. We got a washer and dryer, and we have a nice and spacious shower. You can see here.
Yay.
We have an on-demand water heater that works really great for the cabin. And pretty spacious bathroom. It's a little bigger than ours. in the bus. Yeah, so it's nice to have a nice
Did you
big
switch
shower.
off the light, love? There we go.
And then this is the living area. One of my favorite parts of this part of the living room is this bean bag here. It's so comfy. So in this space right here, Colin actually had a wood stove. That I was hoping that he will leave it installed, but because of liability, and he says that his stove is a little finicky, so it can be tricky. And he usually doesn't leave it on when he rents a space, either on Airbnb or for other people like us, because it removes headaches for him and for us. You know, if he's away, you know, thinking that we might burn his house, and then we're here, you know, not wanting to burn the house. So he just decides to remove it. We have a very good heater to keep the space toasty, so there's really no need for it besides the aesthetics, and it's just beautiful to have a fire. So I was a little disappointed about that, but now thinking about it, I think I don't miss it. I like the bean bag there anyway. And here is my working station. So this is a Morphe bed. I think he just built this recently. So this whole thing turns into a bed. Since we're not planning to have visitors in the near future, we might have family come and visit, but we're not sure yet. So I decided to set up my working station here, and whenever we get someone visit, we just move this and turn it into a bed. But it's a great space. I have my corner. I have an amazing view from this window. I don't know if you can see the mountain right there, but you can.
You can't
get
really
closer
see
now.
it. You can't really see it.
Get closer
I'm afraid to go outside.
No, don't go outside. Just slightly out.
Oh, there you go. Now you can start to see it. Well, there's a beautiful view of Mount Eva right there through that little window, and it's just me and Mount Eva got a thing going on.
You'll see a lot of pictures of it. It's kind of hard to get it with the phone, but that's an amazing view. So yeah, this is my working station. I'm very happy there. It's very comfy. And then here is the bedroom. This is another of my favorite parts of the cabin because the bed is huge. Look at this. It's really big and super comfy. It has a memory foam. Really, really, really comfortable. I really love this bed. We have plenty of space. I usually move a lot in bed, so I think Cora must be feeling like she's sleeping alone now because I have a space and I can roll in half of my space without touching her, basically. So,
yep.
Yeah, so it's really, really cozy.
Yeah, you can see the plant babies back there.
You should get closer and show them.
They found their window. They get some sun there. They're happy. So, yeah, Christian said it must feel like luxury compared to the bus. We are just like, we feel like we're swimming in space. It's like, wow. It's really great.
The funny thing is that this cabin is like so small compared to the house that we stayed in last winter, but we feel that it's so big, you know, compared to the bus. So here is the kitchen. Pretty big kitchen as well. For a small cabin, really good sized kitchen. Everything is accessible, and also we have another amazing view of the mountains from here.
Another mountain view. Yeah, I think you can kind of see this. Yeah, you can see it a little better. There's more light on that mountain right now. Yeah, it is really nice, Dave. It's like the layout is just awesome, and it's just a great spot to be hunkered in. We didn't show my little area.
Yeah.
This is my little spot when I'm inside. Oh, that's so meta. Look, it's a live stream of our live stream. And then if you zoom in, you'll probably be able to see the live. We've got like a infinity effect going on right now. So when I'm in here, this is where I'll be working. And I've been trying to get through kind of like the logistics stuff. Desde Memphis, Tennessee, Oscar. Hola, hola. So I'll be. Sorry. I'm trying to read comments and talk. I will be mostly out in the studio, hopefully. I'm just trying to get through like the logistics stuff. Just some of the logistics stuff. It's just like last winter I got so caught up in trying to do all the logistic stuff before I would get to the creative stuff that I never really got to the creative stuff. So I'm trying to like really learn a lesson here and do it flip-flopped. And just like there's gonna be a lot of administrative logistic stuff that just gets shoved to the side so that I can actually make things, because that's what I want to do. So, but in the meantime, there's a couple things that just have to be done. And so I'm trying to get through that, and then we will go out. Then I'll be hopefully spending most of my time in the studio this winter.
Luis is asking, where do we have the bus?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, we should go out there. We should try and do this.
Okay.
But we might lose you guys. So I'm wondering if maybe we can leave that part for last. We can talk here if there's any questions. We can answer any questions. A little bit more, like 10 minutes more of chit chat, and then we go out there, because there's a high probability we might lose you.
Yeah.
And then once we lose you, we can't really. It's a big burden to try and reconnect you.
Well, right. Yeah. Answer Luis' question, and then tell everyone what we're gonna do.
Sí. Que el bus es una buena pregunta. ¿De dónde está el bus? Y estoy pensando que si vamos afuera ahorita, hay una gran posibilidad que perderemos la conexión. Así que vamos a quedarnos aquí en la cabaña un par de minutos más para responder a unas preguntas, si lo tienen, charlar un poquito más, y después vamos afuera para ver, pues, dónde está el bus. Sí, lo haremos
al final.
Al final. Porque es posible que perderemos la conexión.
Right, let's sit back over here.
And we can try and jump back and forth between Spanish and English.
Here we are.
But let's not lose it.
Yeah, so let's answer some questions here, and then we'll move back outside, finish the tour of the property, and the live streaming from outside.
Okay.
It's pretty cold too.
Yeah. Okay. Ya tenemos preguntas. We got some. So.
All right. What's the first question?
First question is, ¿dónde tenemos el bus? El bus está afuera, detrás del taller, del workshop, del dueño de la cabaña.
Yeah, the property has two buildings, the cabin, and then a shop, like a workshop. It's kind of like garage / workshop. And the bus is parked right next to it.
Yeah, it's kind of behind it.
Yeah.
It's a great part of it. When we get to the stage in the YouTube videos, you guys are going to love this part, because getting the bus in there was like, it was like a 20-point turn to like get it. It was like, and it's kind of,
It's pretty tight. So we're going to have, like Cora was saying, we're going to have someone come in and plot the driveway, because we're expecting to get a lot of snow throughout the winter. And we wanted to get the bus out of the way so that the bus wasn't in the way of the plow. Now, the tricky part is that, well, you will see, we got the building right here and the bus is right behind it. So when the guys come plowing, they're gonna plow behind the bus and in front of the bus, and the bus might get a little buried in snow. So we don't know how hard it's gonna be to get the bus out, because the snow is still in May, still a lot of snow left, kind of turned into ice. But Colin said, don't worry, if the bus gets stuck in snow, have a bunch of friends, so we'll get you out. So, that'll be interesting.
Entonces será un parte de los videos de YouTube muy interesante, ver cómo metimos el bus en ese lugar.
Y cómo lo vamos a sacar.
Sí, cómo lo vamos a sacar. Sí, porque vamos a tener montañas de nieve enfrente y detrás del bus. Yeah. La próxima pregunta, the next question. How far away from town are we? That's Dave's question. Good question.
Very near. So it's
Yeah.
about 4 miles, I believe, or 5 miles.
It's like a 3-mile
3
drive.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about three miles. It takes 6 minutes, and you're in the heart of town, basically.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful town. Like the views of the mountains and the sea. I mean, you have the bay right there, Resurrection Bay. It's just beautiful. That was our first place to park when we came into town, and it was really, really beautiful.
Yeah. Estamos como 3 millas del pueblo y el pueblo es lindísimo. Lindísimo el pueblo. Las montañas llegan al agua. Like, montañas grandísimas y llegan al mar así. ¡Jum! Es increíble. Un increíble lugar. Estamos muy emocionados a hacer los videos.
And I know a lot of people are afraid of coming to Alaska in the winter, but it's actually one of the best times to come because basically tourism is dead. Like very little tourism comes into this place, so towns are really quiet. In the summertime, it's beautiful because you know the weather and all that, but there's tons of people, and everything gets more expensive. So we're happy that we're gonna get to experience both seasons and then be able to tell which one we prefer. But we can tell you that we're enjoying this, you know, especially being comfortable in the cabin. And we get more opportunity also to meet the locals. Every local that we have met, they all agree that they love this time of the year because they get to hang out, because during the busy tourist season they only see each other in the supermarkets. Like, oh, I will catch up with you later, because they always
go.
always going, you know, because they all work in the industry. So it gets very hectic, but then you know they all get to kind of enjoy a winter break and recharge their batteries for the next season.
Next pregunta. Maybe I'll answer in English. Logistics about buying rations, foods, drinks, etc. That was from Christian. Yeah, so well, the cabin has running water, which is great. So we're not like roughing it. And so a lot of people in Alaska spend their winter in like a dry cabin where they don't have running water. And I was like, respect. It's a capital R. Like, no.
We did that for a week in the bus, which to be honest wasn't so bad, but it's kind of tricky when it comes to showers, you know. Not having running water to take showers, you basically gotta go somewhere else. In the bus, you will have to go somewhere else to take showers. But yeah, obviously, anyone will prefer to have running water.
So in terms of buying, when we were in Anchorage, we did do a big haul. We bought like 50 pounds of rice, a ton of beans, a ton of flour, all like the dry goods and stuff, a ton of pasta, and just like these like things that you can just buy in bulk. We did that in Anchorage, and that's all tucked into the cubbies here. But then in town, they've got a big supermarket. It's a big normal supermarket. So basically we just go there for produce and half for the coffee, and that's it. Only sometimes will it be hard to get into town after a big snow, you know, before they plowed, then it'll be tough to get into town to get food and stuff. But we're like, we could survive the apocalypse right now with the amount of rice and beans that we bought.
Yeah, we will always anticipate to check the fridge to make sure that we have all the things that we need. In the case there's a big snow storm coming in, and we'll probably be here for a couple of days just to make sure that we get everything that we need for the next few days. And the good thing is that we're gonna have the plow guys coming and clear our driveway. But in the case that they get too busy in a big storm, we'll make sure that we have everything that we need.
Sí, fuimos a Anchorage para comprar frijoles, arrocito, harina. Compramos un montón de comida y entonces así quedamos bien con la comida. Pero hay una tienda en el pueblo donde podemos comprar verduras y crema para el café y estamos bien. No vamos a tener muchos días en que no podemos salir porque son muy like eficiente con los de plowing toda la nieve. Entonces sí, ¿no? Sentimos muy aislados, pero no es. We feel very isolated here because the property is surrounded by these beautiful tall hemlock trees, but we're not really isolated at all.
Yeah.
There's neighbors there, there's neighbors there, there's neighbors there. Just can't see them.
Yeah. The good
Yeah.
kind of neighbors.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention too that Colin Airbnbs this cabin out in the summertime.
Yeah.
So if anybody decides to come visit Alaska and you want to see Seward, which you definitely should, beautiful place, that you can stay in this cabin, and it really is a beautiful spot. It's we'll put the link. Yeah, I'll put the link, his Airbnb link, to this cabin in the description of this video. So if you see this and you're like, oh, I want to stay there.
Yeah, he usually works in boats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Different things.
when he's out and not staying here, then he puts it out for Airbnb. And he got some really good reviews on Airbnb, and I can see why. You know, the cabin is really nice and it's really well kept,
Yeah,
and equipped. You know,
And he's
very
a
well
great guy.
insulated.
and
He's a very,
really,
very
really
helpful
nice
guy.
person.
So yeah, we're happy that we got connected with him.
So okay, let's see. When are you thinking, Alfredo de Juan, when are you thinking of going on the road again? As soon as we can live in the bus again. So like we're hoping end of March, but sometime in April. As soon as the temperatures get high enough that we can put water in the pipes of Bobby and we can live in Bobby comfortably.
Yeah.
We're okay with being a little cold, but like that's when we'll wake her up. And
now we know what the living conditions in the bus. What are the temperatures that we can comfortably live in the bus when it comes to cold weather? Before we moved here, we were still on the road, and we experienced nights that the temperature dropped for a few hours overnight to, I think, the low 20s, and our water was still running. Because 2 winters ago, I insulated all the pipes. And even though the tanks are hanged underneath, you know, it takes more than a couple of hours of temperature below zero for the water to freeze. So we know that if we live in the end of March, beginning of April, even if the temperatures at night drop below freezing, and during the day, let's say the temperature are at least 10 degrees above freezing, we will be able to live in the bus. So everything will depend on what the weather is like when it comes to the end of March, beginning of April. But that's our plan, living and getting back on the road. We know we have already talks ongoing with the arts consult in Talkeetna, a town that is about 4 or 5 hours from here. And Cora is going to be doing a songwriting workshop with the kids over there. And we're going to be doing a community mural. And we're planning all of that for the spring. Or right before this summer season, because the students, you know, all go with their families to do all their activities. So we're planning to do that while they're still in school, which will be somewhere around April. So we'll have to be there around that time, meaning that we have to get back on the road with the bus around that time.
Yeah. Así que rápidamente en español. La idea es que vamos a empezar a manejar, vivir en el bus otra vez en el abril, cuando tenemos suficiente temperatura para vivir en el bus. Y después vamos a explorar Alaska en el Bobby Bus. Sí, y hacer murales y escribir canciones con los niños en nuevos pueblos, y estaremos de nuevo viajando con el proyecto.
Yeah.
La próxima pregunta, the next question. How's the Tomás. Hey, Tomás! Welcome to the family. It's so nice. I've been really enjoying your comments and videos, and thank you for joining Patreon. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Tomás is asking, how's the motor holding up? ¿Cómo va el motor?
Muy bien. no nos podemos quejar con eso.
Sí.
Tiene un poquito de una gotera de aceite que viene de una parte del motor que usualmente este tipo de motores tienden a gotear por la expansión y contracción del sello. Eh, pero aparte de eso, cuando la temperatura está arriba de 40 grados Fahrenheit, no hay problema. Cuando baja ah, entre, I don't know, 25 y 35 grados, empieza a gotear un poquito, pero the engine is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Muy fuerte.
Yeah, so the bus is just, she rocked that trip. She really did.
Yeah.
And the only thing is that our first night of freezing temperatures, we noticed some oil on the pavement. It was right next to the Athabasca Glacier, next to the Columbia ice field, and it got cold that night. And the next morning, there was a little puddle, and we're like,
Yeah.
what's this about?
Yeah.
And we noticed it looked like it was coming from a seal on the oil cooler, and luckily, that very same day, right?
About a week later, we were parked next to the trailer, and the owner of that trailer, who's traveling around Canada, is a retired mechanic for diesel engines, and he worked a lot on those engines.
On those engines in school buses.
So when he told me that, I was like, "Hey, I have a question for you." So we popped the engine and the hood of the engine. We showed him, and he said, "Yeah, this is normal. Don't worry about it. It's just when it gets cold."
There's apparently
Yeah.
like a seal.
Yeah.
Hopefully that seems like what it is. It's just when it gets cold, there's a seal on the oil cooler that likes to contract, and then oil drips out. So we're like,
Yeah,
well,
so we know that the seal on that engine cooler is brand new because it got replaced when we did the engine rebuild in Mexico almost a couple of years ago, and he said it's either the leak is because it's just a normal contraction and expansion of the seal, or it might have gotten pinched a little bit when it was installed. And the only way to know it is just like removing the whole thing, and it's a big job to do it. So if once we go south next year, we're gonna be basically in warm weather. If it stops leaking, then we'll be fine. If it continues leaking after this winter, then we'll probably have to change that seal. But it's something that doesn't really affect the functioning of the engine.
yeah. So we're good. We're good. Michael, hey. Aw. Michael and Susie, hey guys. Says we are bundled up in our blankets enjoying the tour, hoping for more rain here. Appear to be living the northern exposure. Favorite show. Oh, we should check out that show. Northern Exposure. Yeah, that'd be cool to get into a show. How is band practice? Are we going to see a concert?
Yes. So right now we're practicing for
That
Christmas.
came from Dave.
Yeah. So I have done one practice with them. It went really well. It's familiar music because it's all Christmas music. It's a concert band and it's growing. A lot more people are joining. So I think right now we are 23 or 25. The problem is that we don't have a conductor. So some of the players jump in to conduct some pieces. So it could be a little chaotic in some parts. It's a community band, it's for fun. We have high school students, middle school students in the band. And then you also have some senior citizens in the band. It's just a lot of fun. You have a really mixed group of musicians. And everyone is so cool. And the music is fun, it's Christmas music. So we're practicing for our next concert. There's going to be December 3rd. So we'll make sure to document all of that, to fold that into one of the YouTube videos for the future.
And for somebody who's wondering what the heck we're talking about, José Luis joined the community band to play saxophone with the community band.
Yeah, so we are two tenors. There are two tenor sax in the band. Two. Yeah, and I think two alto saxes. Yeah. So it's fun. Yeah, it's last time I played with the band was when I was still in college. So I'm glad to be back at it.
Luis pregunta, ¿hay algún disco cocinando para sacar dentro de un tiempo? Es un lugar ideal para componer y hacer buenas fotos.
Oh, sí. Ayer salí.
But I'm gonna repeat that in English just so people know, and then we'll kind of. So he's asking, like, is there stuff cooking? is there an album cooking, and photos and stuff, because it seems like a great place to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sí.
Well, just start with.
Bueno, para mí, sí. Tengo pendiente 4 proyectos de grabación que necesito cumplir este invierno. Por eso estoy tan ansiosa que quiero estar en el estudio ya. Sí, son proyectos emocionantes que voy a componer más para un proyecto de Christian, que vamos a trabajando en un documental sobre la historia de él y su pony, que se llama Wotan. Y voy a trabajar en esto. También voy a escribir y grabar como el soundtrack, ¿cómo diré? Soundtrack de...
Banda sonora.
Sí, del proyecto Art With Area para todos los videos que vamos a hacer desde Alaska hasta Argentina. Y también voy a grabar la próxima etapa de mi proyecto de las Américas, los volúmenes. Entonces ya casi acabamos con el volume 1 de las Américas. Vamos a pre-grabar el próximo, las Américas volume 2. Entonces sí, tengo un montón de cosas que hacer, por eso estoy ansiosa de empezar a trabajar. So, yeah, for my part, I've got like at least four recording projects that I'm trying to get done this winter. One is working on Christian's Wotan documentary. That you guys have heard me talk about that before, so I'm going to be working on some of that. We have a little bit of that to work on. I also really want to record the entire kind of Art With Area soundtrack that will eventually be used in our documentary, but to be able to use that music for our videos going forward from Alaska to Argentina, so that we're not using like old stuff that I recorded kind of whatever. I want to have like a very kind of cohesive body of work, kind of like the Taming Wild album, something like similar like that, where it's all, you can feel it's all connected, and be able to use that music for our videos going forward. I also want to pre-record the next volume of the Americas EP series. So we're almost finished getting out the stuff from volume 1, and I want to have volume 2 basically pre-recorded and ready to go. So when we hit the road, we can just be filming, and I don't need to be like trying to create when we're on the road, because it's really hard. And also the other thing, the series of guitar vocal pieces. I want to try and pre-record a bunch of those too. So a lot for me to do this winter.
Yep. And for me, I started last winter cataloging my photos, because I have thousands, maybe more than 1 million photos.
It's true.
And I had to, and I wasn't very good at organizing them in the beginning, and throughout the years I become a little better about organizing, but still I have to curate some of them for my website, some of them for future exhibitions, some of them for the print shop that is integrated into my website, so people can come and order prints or straight from my website. So that's a lot of work right there. I would like to get at least one experimental film, which Cora is going to make the music for, so we're collaborating on that. It's going to be a beautiful project, because I have amazing footage that you guys have been seeing a little snippets here and there. If you follow my Instagram, I post some clips on reels and stuff like that. So there's a lot of beautiful footage, and so much that I haven't even scratched the surface to show anyone, especially because I've been saving it for these experimental films. But it's just too much to get out there. So that's going to be a big thing. And I have to edit all the videos for our season of YouTube, which we actually do in collaboration, but that's a lot of work as well. And I have to design a lot of, I would like to have at least 4 designs of murals that are ready to go for communities that I can just propose them. So Luis, tenemos mucho trabajo. Tengo que organizar todas mis fotos. Tal vez tengo más de 1 millón de fotografías. Tengo que hacer catálogos de eso. Organizarlas para futuras exhibiciones, para mi página web, para el print shop donde la gente puede comprar mis fotos. Y vamos a trabajar en un film experimental en el cual Cora va a hacer la música. Así que muchas cosas muy, muy lindas que vamos a estar trabajando este invierno.
Sí. Y bueno, tenemos, we have like 20 minutes until, yeah. Oh, well, maybe I can answer this as we're going outside. Alfredo Juan said, what about wildlife? There's something you should be worried about? We can answer that maybe when I'm getting my jacket on. Because we got 20 minutes before the plow guys show up and look at the property and give us an estimate on how much it'll cost every time they come to plow. We've got 2 guys showing up today. And it's really important because we're about to get a bunch of snow next week. So we need to have our guy ready to go.
Yeah.
So we only got 20 minutes until we can, for us to go walk outside.
Yeah.
And
in the last 10 minutes, we can walk outside and give a tour.
Well, no, I'm saying like we could start now because if it works, if we hold the connection, then that's about the amount of time. We don't want to stop right at 10 because what if he comes up the drive right at 10?
All right.
You know, like we could start getting ready now. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the camera and I'll. Shut.
Just stay there.
Yeah, he's gonna. Well, he's getting all dressed up. Dave says it's 75 there today. Nice.
75.
75. Woo.
That's nice.
We could use some of that to melt the ice that has formed on the driveway.
I think it's like 23 right now here.
It's 20. Yeah, it's chilly out there. So, yeah, I'm sure that nobody's told us like be careful about the bears or anything like that. Colin didn't really mention if there was a big risk of big animals trying to mess with us. We're kind of at the very top of this hill, so any critters, they would have to have a really good reason to like come all the way up here. But no, we're not too worried about that. I think more up in the more central part of Alaska, you might have to worry about that more. Our friends in Talkeetna were telling us how they got attacked by a moose. That's scary. But I think we should be good here. We're never really going to leave the house. So, you guys know us. Homebodies. All right, so I'm going to show you the process here. Now, if you know me, you know that... Good?
Mm-hmm.
You know that I grew up in Wisconsin, but that does not mean I am tolerant of the cold. It just means I have perspective. I know how cold things can get, but I'm actually an absolute whip about the cold. So, I got my hat, got my mittens.
Ready?
Oh, that's a bad idea. I should have done it this way.
Good luck with that.
I got it. I'm a pro. Come on. Okay. You got your shoes ready? Are you
I
going
think,
for these ones?
yes.
Okay,
Thank you. You got your shoes?
got mine out here. Okay, so if we lose you, I apologize. We might lose you. If that happens, then I think. Okay. All right.
Here we are outside.
Outside now. If we lose you, we'll show you guys this space via one of our videos.
I think we should be fine.
Hopefully we're fine. And if we do lose you, we're not going to try and restart it because we got those guys coming. But we're outside now. This is the property. Like I said, this is Airbnb out in the summertime, so you can definitely come here and stay here. Here's the cabin from this angle. It was built in 2009 and it's super well insulated, which is awesome.
Dave said that we're good so far with the signal, so that's good.
Yay.
So that's the cabin right there. And that's how much snow we had gotten since we got here. So it's beautifully surrounded by these beautiful trees. And I'll see if I can show you guys the mountain that we can see in the background over here, Mount Eva. So you can see a little bit there through the pine trees. And then we got a little bit of a shelter here for Sancho. Our ride to town is safely under cover here. And then there's Bobby. There's Bobby Bus. Yeah. And here, there's another beautiful view of the mountains. Right there. I forgot the name of this one, of this peak here. But we should show them the driveway. So it's a little steep coming up over here. So Cora will show us here.
So the driveway, as you can see, it iced over after we cleared it. And the problem is it's very wet here. So it snowed and then it kind of turned to slush and then it melted just enough to then freeze into like ice. So we put down this stuff called Arctic Grip, which gives traction. We put down salt. But luckily over the next 4 days, the temps are gonna rise high enough that hopefully this can like melt, get back into the gravel and we can get back down the gravel. Whoa, tractor's sitting down. But not with these puppies. Yeah. So we'll see what the plow guys say. Also offer sanding service might be something that we should look into because Seward is like wet. So they get snow and then it turns to slush and then it turns to ice.
You should tell them what happened the other day coming in the car because it's so steep.
Car up the driveway. It didn't want to come up. I was taking it too slow, and down at the very bottom, it just like it really was just glass.
It doesn't look so bad from here on the phone, but it's actually a little steep.
Yeah, it was steep, and so I tried to get it up. I was just being too timid about it, and the car was like, nope, it wouldn't come up. So I was like, all right. So I backed it up, and I was just like, all right, Sancho, we got to do this, and just like gunned it, and then we got up here. But I was like, all right. So but that was before I bought the Arctic Grip and the salt. So now we've put a bunch of Arctic Grip down and the salt, and so when we tried it again, the car came up just fine. So let's go check out Bobby.
How we doing with the signal? Can you guys hear everything okay? Is the transmission going smoothly? I hope so.
Hope so.
All right, so we're good. Thanks, Dave.
Bobby girl.
Excellent. So here's Bobby.
This, as you can see, how it was a little tricky to get her in here. But we did it. You can see she's plugged in to the grid. Cord there. Colin is awesome. Colin was like, well, you could run it forward from over here, or I can just put a hole in my wall and we can run the cable through there. And we were like, really? He's like, yeah. You can always plug a hole up later, but wow, so legit like hole saw through the wall, got a like little system, and the bus is plugged in. So yeah, we got her up on the blocks, and we put a stabilizer in the fuel and anti-gel, which will be helpful maybe if in the springtime we try and wake her up while it's still a little cold.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. So Dave is asking plan of using the studio. Don't forget that.
I know.
Yeah. So you'll show them right now.
Yeah, so show you. I am planning to use the studio through the winter to do all those recording projects. So what we've done is this part of the bus is cold. It's chilly. Let's see, the temperature in here right now is 23 degrees in the main part of the studio. Yeah, you can see. All the pipes are blown out and everything. I still got to do one final clean, and we got to put cinnamon oil soaked cotton balls to deter critters.
Yeah, Alfredo said that maybe we should cover the bus with some tarp or something. But what we're thinking of doing, since we're gonna be using it, is we'll probably remove the solar panels to avoid the breaking with the weight of the snow. And it's very humid here, so the snow can get very heavy.
Yeah.
So I think sometime in the next couple of weeks we're gonna have warmer weather. So we planning on maybe removing the solar panels then and store them. It's not too hard. Probably take a couple of hours to remove them. But yeah.
Yeah, we want to do that, and then it's a little easier to get snow off when we can get up to the deck, when we can, and the roof has a nice curved texture, so once snow builds up and the panels are off, it'll be a lot easier to just kind of slough it off than if we have a tarp, which creates more textures, creates more pockets and wrinkles and stuff, that then we could have like ice build up and the weight that we don't want on top of the bus. So the studio, it's a little bit warmer. Yeah, it's 32 degrees in here, so it's freezing temps, but we got an oil-filled radiant heater, which is good and efficient, and we've got it kind of set on low, so it keeps this part of the bus a little bit higher. And then when I'm in here like doing recording all day long, I'll just kind of have it set on a higher temperature. But right now the only thing it's being used for is Jose's saxophone practice. So yeah, the nice thing about this space is it's so well insulated for sound that we crank this thing for just like a couple hours and it's like really nice in here, and it'll be good, okay, for the instruments to be in here with that. We'll see how it goes. You know, we got this because it's more efficient and it's quiet, and
basically starting sometime next week, you're gonna be here every day for a few hours working.
For the last week I've been like trying to just get through everything every day, but there's always stuff that happens every day, and 9 o'clock every night I'm like, I'm gonna finish this stuff so I can go out to the studio, and then I don't finish it. So yeah, I'm trying to get out here as soon as I can. I'm ready.
Yeah, definitely. A winch will be really nice to have in the front of the bus.
A winch?
Yeah, for someone saying here that we should have a winch for next time we get stuck.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it'll happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Right.
Okay.
Step by step, that's right.
Dang, cold.
You think so? Where do you think you are? Miami Beach? Here,
No,
can you grab this?
I'm happy I'm not at Miami Beach right now. Okay, how do I... Sorry guys, it's gonna get bumpy. I'm doing this with my mittens. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So we'll see. Our biggest concern with the bus and heating is the condensation. When we were living in the bus in that last week and it was getting really cold and we had to heat, we had a lot of condensation forming on the windows and we did not like that. So we're gonna see how it goes with using the studio. if the studio is able to hold that heat without it leaking out enough into the other places that condensation forms. If too much condensation is forming, then I might have to rethink my whole studio plan. Because we just don't want to be getting on the road in the spring with mold. We don't want mold. So.
But I don't think that's gonna happen because for the last 5 days since we moved into the cabin, I've been heating up the studio and condensation hasn't been an issue.
Yeah, so I think we should be good.
I think it's because the studio is very well insulated, and once you leave the doors closed, the heat doesn't come out. It slowly dissipates inside, so it's fine. And now that we're gonna try to keep that heater, trickling and kind of maintaining a maybe 50-degree temperature, shouldn't be an issue.
Well, any remaining questions? Were there any more questions that popped up? You know how to go through and check them? Were there any more questions?
No, there are no more questions for me.
Step by step. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. We just got a text from the guy who's coming to give us a quote for the plowing, saying that he's on his way.
Okay. So yeah, we gotta rally and get ready for him so we can show him what he's got to do and see what he's gonna say the rate will be.
Yep.
Next week we will be back with another video. We've got it ready to go.
Yeah.
That one will be showing our time in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Gary, Indiana.
This whole winter video series is gonna feel like we're on the road because it's crazy that we're so behind with it. That basically exactly a year behind. Yeah. But our hope is that we're definitely gonna catch up. So it's good to be ahead. Behind with the videos because then we can be editing ahead for future ones. Yeah. But everything's gonna feel like we are, at least once we catch up, everything's gonna feel like we are gonna be 2 months behind, which is good. They give us enough time to do our creative work and keep everyone entertained with what we have done in the past. So these next videos are basically all the videos from last year, from around this time of last year, which is fun. Remembering all of that, it's gonna feel like we're back on the road.
It's fun for us to edit them. We're like, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, this.
That's gonna be the most fun part, that we are parked over here, not moving at all, but editing these videos is definitely gonna feel like we are on the road. So that's good.
Yeah.
So,
bueno, y Luis y Trini, gracias por estar aquí. Y espero que les gustaron la cabañita.
Yep.
Y el lugarcito.
Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you see the video shaking, it's because my hands are cold. I forgot my gloves.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can hold them.
Oh no, we can say goodbye.
Okay.
I can. I don't know how to do it. Can you hold it one more time?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna leave you guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully you tune in for the premiere next week. Should be our normal time, 12 noon, Sunday, 12 noon, EST, Eastern time. We will be there with another premiere. Tune in. Join us for the live chat.
Yep.
We love you guys. Until next time.
See ya.
Bye.